second TDS webinar. And thank you once again for joining us on time. My name is Max. I'm the sales engineer and I will be your host today. On behalf of TDS, I'd like to extend a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for allocating your time to attend this webinar. We'll be doing webinar every weekly, same time on every Wednesday, which always starts at 3 p.m. I assure you that you will learn something new on every TDS webinar. So do keep a lookout on our weekly webinar updates. Okay, we will have our Q&A sessions after the last speaker has spoken. In case you forgot about your questions, you may just type them inside the chat room. We will retrieve one by one. Okay, as we are about to begin, please get ready your snacks and drinks, as there will be no tea breaks in between the webinars. And I like to seek your cooperation by kindly switch off your mobile or computer camera modes. Okay, and then also to mute your mics for all audience, in case any unnecessary noise or FaceTime image were to pop up during the webinar. Thank you for your cooperations. Okay, I like to begin by showing everyone our corporate videos. Hope you enjoy. Okay, sorry, one moment. Okay, that was a short introduction of our company product and our company staff. Okay, one moment. Okay, up next, we are doing something different today. I'd like to invite our previous speaker, Daryl from Universal Robots, for short interview sessions, as he was being interviewed by CNA Singapore Radio's 93.8. Yeah. So we'd like to have a recap of the interview again and share with everyone. So once again, allow me to invite Daryl, Head of Universal Robots for Southeast Asia and Oceania. Daryl, please.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're well, Max.
Yep. Can you hear me, Daryl? I hope you can.
I can hear you fine. Absolutely.
Okay, great. So today will be my turn to interview you. Okay.
Looking forward to it.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so professional like the DJ, but I tried my best to do it. Okay.
No problem.
Okay, so here are some questions that I prepared for you. Hope you are ready. Okay.
Very much.
Can you describe for us what a cobot looks like, its size, and how exactly it's different from a traditional robot?
Absolutely. So a cobot is very different to a traditional industrial robot, being that we're designed to work around humans and with humans, which is a stark contrast to industrial robots. Traditional industrial robots will actually hurt somebody if they run into them, whereas collaborative robots are designed to stop if they do run into anything, including a human. There's a lot of benefits around that, which I'll leave for some other questions you might have. But in terms of how they look, they're typically smaller than a large industrial robot. You can see the back end of one there on the image that's now up on screen, and a lot lighter in comparison to what traditional industrial robots are. Our robot weighs, from the smallest robot, the UR3, weighs about 11 kilograms all the way up to the UR10, which is our heaviest robot. It's not the heaviest payload robot, but the heaviest weight robot. It is 23 kilograms in the robot arm itself. So they're quite a lot lighter, generally smaller, and generally a lot easier to use than your traditional industrial robot.
I understand that now your highest payload should be UR16, right?
Correct. But the UR16 is, although it's a higher payload, is actually a lighter robot than the UR10 due to the reach configuration that we have built into it.
I see. Okay. Okay, next, how do we ensure that cobot does not pose a danger to human as it works closely with it?
Well, certainly there's a few ways we do that ourselves. Our robots are internationally certified as a safety rated machine to a safety rating of D, or safety category D. These are different in terms to what your component level safety is, because it is a machine rather than a component. But that's certainly one aspect of it, making sure that you're third-party certified in that particular ISO standard. Outside of that, though, we also have a safety functionalities built into our robot that allow it to essentially feel what's happening in the outside world. So if the robot does run into anything, a human included, it will actually trigger what's called a protective stop. And protective stop is exactly what it sounds like. It's there to protect the other things around the robot. That's one of the main reasons we do it. But we also say, we are all in charge of safety in our businesses. So we have to not only look after it ourselves, being you are, but as an end user, if you mount a knife to the end of a collaborative robot, it will still be unsafe. So as an end user, you still need to make precaution yourself and do the required, whatever your country requires in terms of local auditing, to make sure that the collaborative robot and the end effector become safe as one package. A way around that I can recommend is that if you use the UR Plus accessories that UR has audited ourselves, you'll see that they also fit the same safety requirement effectively. So they're generally a lot closer toward getting a final overarching application finished by using those products as well.
Okay. Next, how can a company measure how much a cobot has improved its operations?
This can be easy or can be difficult, depending on how well your company is set up. If you are currently measuring what the output is of your current workers in that application right now, then it's actually a lot easier to then measure what the robot does and the efficiencies, and also some of the intangible efficiencies that come with robot automation, like less wastage of parts and less damage to parts and things like that, which are not always something you immediately think of when you think of how to measure the effectiveness of a robot or the efficiency gain. But if you're not measuring right now what's happening in your business, it becomes a little more difficult to find an absolute around what the efficiency gain is. What I can say is, traditionally, when you pair a human with a collaborative robot or a human with a robot, you always see a higher output than what you would with just the robot alone or just the human alone. That's what we see throughout our business globally, in fact, not just within this region.
Understand. Okay. Okay, Darren, one last question for you. Okay.
No problem.
How useful is a cobot during pandemic like we are experiencing now?
I think,
Yes.
a cobot is, I mean, during a time like this with COVID, obviously, there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears in terms of what's happening out in the real world right now. And one of the benefits to a collaborative robot is you have the ability to put the robot out into humanity, in with humans and mix around humans a lot more than you can with an industrial robot. So what that really means is that when you put that robot out into the community, you can be a lot more you can believe in yourself a lot more that you won't potentially injure anyone out in the community. Now, when it comes to some of the things we're seeing in Singapore now is disinfecting of surfaces and things like that. These robots, or our robot that's involved in that, it has to be collaborative because it is operating within an open space in terms of it can go from one building to the next. And it's operating in areas where humans are very common. So again, the human is touching the door handle that the robot then comes past and disinfects. So unless you wish to do that if you wish to do that with 100% supervision of a human, you have to form a physical barrier around it to stop people from getting into the robot. Now, the joy of a collaborative robot is that you don't need to do that. You can actually have the robot a little bit more free to do its job without that full-on human intervention. The other benefit that a lot of people don't see around collaborative robots when it comes to this is that collaborative robots are designed to be redeployable. So, not just a single use for a single application. And in fact, in many factories, we see robots used in different applications throughout the day or throughout the week, depending on what the job is, the task is that you've got to get done. So the exciting thing for me as well is that we all hope to see an end to this pandemic. We wish to put a wall and say that was the worst time that we've dealt with, and from here on we move forward. So the joy of being able to reuse the robot very quickly is that it goes from being something that's involved in disinfecting to this date, and from this date on, it becomes something that can be used for manufacturing for different applications to actually then move humanity forward again. That's what I think is one of the most exciting things about using a robot for a project window, which is what we all hope COVID is. It started and we hope that it stops. So if you have a project window in your facility that has a start and stop date, you can use that robot for that and then use it for something else.
Understand. Okay, yeah. Fantastic, Daryl. Thank you for sharing us so many information.
Anytime, Max.
Yes, thank you. It is definitely challenging as we face a lot of questions from a customer, especially in times like this, during times like this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so, due to our time limitation, we are going to the next section of the event. Once again, thank you, Daryl, for joining us on the webinar. Okay,
thank you.
We will be back for Q&A. So, audience, if you have any questions, just type it in the chat room and we will answer it at our last sections. Okay, before we start our webinar, I'd like to share with everyone the sneak preview of our next week Wednesday webinar. Same, we will be having 3 speakers and they will be sharing a short introductions of their company followed by their products. And we have invited special guests from different countries or company, as you can see on my slides. First, we will have Zimmer from Germany, followed by QB Robotics, an Italian company, and lastly, Robot Master from Canada. Okay, so next I'd like to invite QB Robotics. Federico, are you there?
Yes, Max, I'm here.
Hi, good. So, a producer of innovative device implementing soft robotic technologies such as robotic hands that looks like human hands. So, Federico, you may share your screen now. Start.
Can you see it?
Not yet.
Now you should see it.
Okay, yes, great.
So I will realize a short overview of our company and especially of our product. We are specialized in the realization of anthropomorphic robotic hands. And we are now at the third generation of robotic hands. The first prototype was realized in 2011 and was declined for different usage, for research, academic, biomedical as prosthesis, and now the third generation is for industrial applications to be used as end effector for cobots. As reference and use case, we are using more than 200 hands that are now applied and integrated in 20 countries. The hand is covered by 3 international patents and is totally designed and realized inside our headquarters in Italy. It's mainly used to replicate the human hand movement, for example, for testing application, quality inspection, or where you need to directly be in contact with the human operator. As the hand is intrinsically safe and has an anthropomorphic shape, it is also compliant and designed according to international certification standards for collaborative robotics. Especially, it has been designed according to ISO TS 15066. This means that the hand is intrinsically safe also according to mechanical point of view. I'm presenting briefly 2 kinds of applications we realized during 2 demos. As one of the main requests comes from teleoperations, the hand can be integrated to be used in teleoperation action, especially for dangerous tasks like in nuclear inspection or dangerous object manipulations. Also is mainly used for testing applications. And it can replicate exactly the human hand movement. The hand can be used to realize such movement as the hand. And this is a short picture of our company, founded in 2011. We are based in Pisa Robotics Cluster, and we do have 10 employees as 2020, and we are based in the Pisa in Italy, but we can reach any country in the world thanks to our distribution network settled up in the last 3 years. Thanks for your attention.
Okay. Thank you, Federico. Next, I'd like to invite James from Robot Master.
Thank you, Max.
They produce CAD/CAM for robot seamlessly integrate offline programming, simulations, and code generations. Deliver a quick error-free robot programs. James, if you're ready.
I'm ready. Just give me your share.
Okay, you may share now. Thank you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Morning for other people. Robot Master was set up back in the late 2000s, and now we are the largest seller of robotic offline programming in the market. And the robotic markets are changing. Oh, what's this? There you go. We're going from a large volume, identical parts, which have been really the main driver behind the industrialization of robots, but these tend to be very large companies with very large capital, and they would buy the systems pre-programmed. And when they're done with them, after the run of the automobile, for example, they would send them out to the used market and start all over again because the programming costs more than the robot in the end. So where the market is changing, it is going now to low volume, high mix. And when you do that, you cannot teach a robot economically. And there's lots of robots sitting in companies, just basically they're clothes hangers because you can't program them economically, or the programmer left. So what we've done is we have applied CAD/CAM principles to robot programming. And which can take a long, long time to design and program manually by teaching, we can do in minutes. And we also correct all of the kinematic problems, which is a huge problem. In pick and place, it's pretty much simple. You can use the control to do it. So the programming costs have to be radically reduced, and Industry 4 is clamoring for, hey, I want to take the part that I have, and I want that program to be the same as it is on a CNC machine, but with the robot. And if one robot goes down, I want to be able to take that part and put it to another robot, maybe a different mark and model, without having to reprogram it. So basically our goal is to make profits on a single item job. That allows us to get into the small, medium companies who want robots but are afraid of the programming cost. We want to lead the robotic revolution in manufacturing, which we pretty much are already, but we want more. And we really want to democratize robots. So a robot in every shop. In the beginning, CNC machines were very expensive, and you had to have special programmers. You had to shut down the machine and production to reprogram it. Basically, the robots are in the same way. That all changed very radically in the 80s with the advent of PC-based CAD/CAM systems. We're going to do the same thing for robots. And our goal is to eliminate teaching, because you can't teach complex parts. So we want to make the robot just as easy as a 3 and 5 axis CAD/CAM. And so you have to be quick to develop the program, fast the kinematic analysis of the robot, do advanced optimization and collision detection, which very few people are. Basically, we're the only ones who do the really high level. A couple people have copied us, thankfully. And we have to have a quick way of correcting errors so that someone out in the shop floor can do it. And we have to function with all industrial robots. And we're now opening our system to third-party development. So that's our goal in the long term. Most of it's done. We function with everything now. And we go all the way from doing a lot of 737 composites, the 350, but that business is kind of shutting down right now. And this got us going. We do a lot of agricultural work also. This would be impossible to do otherwise without a robot. We do a lot of for the LEAP 1C engines, for the drilling cooling points. Do a lot of water jet cutting for complex parts. Sanding and finishing, which is a big demand market right now, and spraying. So we've developed all of these special programs within Robot Master to make programming easy and give the people an idea that, hey, I can make money with a single robot and a single job. And we also do a lot of weld cutting for pre-cut welding for welding, and also a lot of complex and simple welding. In fact, Keppel here in Singapore uses Robot Master on an ABB gantry system to program all of their ship segments, and they are assembled later on. And we also do the support of the gantry. Laser cutting. There's a multiple things that we can do. And you can go from one robot to another. If you want this little PDF, it's available. We'll post it for you. And basically, we're allowing people to use robots to basically whatever you want, more than just pick and place. And you can make a single item profitable, which has until now been impossible. You had to make thousands to just pay for the programming, let alone the robot. So basically, that's what we do. And next week, we'll give you a lot more details on it and show you the process. We'll start an object with cutting it on a laser, and then we'll show it with a universal robot actually depositing the glue, and just by changing the robots. So that is basically what we do at Robot Master. We make you able to make money with robots. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, James. And thank you all speakers for your quick introductions. Okay, I'm sure it will be an interesting topic to learn about next week webinar. So do remember to sign up when the registration is open. Finally, our events of webinar is about to begin. So first, I'd like to invite Niels, Area Sales Manager for OnRobot. He'll be sharing with us all smart OnRobot grippers and how it helps in our production business. Niels, are you there, ready?
I am ready, yes. If you guys are, I'm ready.
Yes, you may share your screen now.
Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Max, and thank you, TDS. So my name is Nils, just to make it short, because my name is very, very long and very difficult to pronounce. I'm basically from Denmark. I'm working for OnRobot, which is a Danish manufacturer of collaborative end effectors. So I'm the area sales manager for South Asia, Southeast Asia, and Oceania. Give me a second here. Right, so the content, so 20 minutes is not a lot of time, so I might have to skip a few slides here and there, but ultimately, if you want my presentation afterwards, I'll share with you. But I'll talk a little bit about who is OnRobot and what's the vision for the company, the new normal, and obviously here we are talking about COVID-19 and what that means for automation and what it means for businesses. So what I'm talking about today is, as I said, is how do you future-proof your business? A little bit about our products, something about what we call a one system solution, a quick summary, and then the Q&A, I guess, will be at the end of the session. So I'll wait with that to Max goes on at the end of the session. So who is OnRobot? As I said, we are a Danish company, but basically we are a merger of 5 companies from Denmark, from Hungary, and the US respectively. We are located in a city called Odense in Denmark, same city as Universal Robots, by the way. We are around 180 employees globally now. So I was staff number 13, and this is 2.5 years ago. So we are growing very, very fast. In terms of APAC, so I'm sitting here in Singapore, which is our APAC HQ, but we also have offices in Shanghai, in Seoul, and in Tokyo in terms of the APAC region. So if you guys are having factories around the region, just let me know and I can put you in contact with our local representatives. So our vision is basically to build a one-stop shop for collaborative applications. So what that means is that we want to be able to integrate with every single robot brand in the market. We are at some level already there. We want to be able to work with all applications. So whether you have a pick and place, an assembly, an inspection, palletizing, whatever you want to do, we want to have a tool for it. We want to be able to supply, supply all accessory types. So that means grippers, sensing technologies, quick changers, processing tools, etc., etc. So I'll talk a little bit more about our products later on. And then we want to be able to supply tools or end effectors for all industries. And the reason we can do that is basically that everything we do is electric. We do not want to touch pneumatics. We don't want to go into it. So we only do products that are electric. So we have products now running in greenhouses, in universities, in banks, in cafes, in hospitals, etc. And that is possible because we do things electrically and don't use pneumatics. Okay, so the new normal, and obviously, as I said earlier, we are talking about what are the effects of COVID-19 for automation. And Daryl, from you, I was talking a little bit about it earlier. So I just want to give my point of view from it. So the world is changing, that is for sure. And I think if you haven't read an article somewhere in a newspaper, in a magazine, online, in the past 2 months, I think you must have been hiding under a rock somewhere because it's everywhere and everybody's talking about it. Automation will be a bigger part of the future in any industry you're in any sector you're in. So what does it mean in terms of how to future-proof your business? So manufacturers, traditional manufacturers, will have to relook at the processes where they are now using human labors, right? Because a lot of factories have been not being able to open because they can't send workers to the factory, or laborers have been refusing to go because they're afraid of getting ill. So these are things that can really seriously infect your business, and maybe even close your business down if you're not prepared for this kind of thing. So what you have to look at now, of course, all these applications where you are using humans now, like pick and place applications, packaging, palletizing, warehousing, etc., you have to look at how can you automate that now and improve your processes and overcome a potential new COVID-19, because it's not if it happens, it will happen again. It'll be something different, but something similar to COVID-19, it will happen again. So you need to prepare your business for that. Of course, we see it in health services. I mean, I'm sure you also have seen a lot of videos where, especially testing of COVID-19 patients, using, for instance, collaborative robots or collaborative applications. But you also, I'm sure in the future, you will see it in hospitals serving medicine or serving meals. Already now, you have surgical procedures using robots, and this will become more and more common sight in any health service industry you go into in the future. Restaurants, cafes, supermarkets, it's there already, but again, it'll be something that is becoming more and more common, because these kind of industries or these kind of companies will look at ways to lessen the interaction with customers, and people among each other in the future. It could be serving meals, handing out takeaway bags, scanning goods, filling shopper bags, receiving payment, etc., etc. So there's a lot of companies, a lot of industries that can benefit from going into automation, and in that way help to future-proof and avoid similar situations that many of you are in today. So the only way to do that, as I said, you need to look at automation. It can be very easy, especially with collaborative applications, but it has to happen. Also, of course, this is a little bit political, but there's a lot of companies and a lot of countries now that are looking very negatively at China, because they have been, because of the whole COVID situation, and also most companies now, especially bigger companies, are looking at a way of bringing back manufacturing to the home country. So things like part supply is becoming closer to home. And of course, I hope this will happen in Singapore as well, that we can start bringing more manufacturing back to Singapore. And the only way for you to do this is basically to do automation, because having manual labor, it's too complicated, it's too expensive, it's not efficient enough. So again, part of future-proofing your business and potentially bringing more production back to a country like Singapore will have to be via automation. This is a quick slide to see some of the growth for automation in general. So the first robot was the first robot arm was launched in the 1960s, and the growth has been relatively slow until, I say, about 2015, so about 5 years ago. But you can see here on the rate that it goes from about 10% or 9% in 2015 up to about 25% in 2025, which is 5 years from now. So it's enormous growth, and the massive growth here, the most growth here will come from collaborative applications, so collaborative robots, not from industrial robots. And this is here what we are here to help you with. So basically find these, help you enable these easy implementation of automation in your specific area, your specific industry. So prior to COVID-19, what is the typical motivations for people to start buying robots and automation? Number one, lack of people are rising labor cost, for sure. That's the same in Singapore. Labor cost is very expensive. Of course, you have the benefit of bringing people in from Johor, or from Sri Lanka and Bangladesh and so on, but that cannot keep on going. I mean, labor costs will keep on going up, and it's not efficient or competitive in the long run. Second most is the improving of competitiveness and efficiency again. So using manual labor, again, humans can only do so much. They get tired, they make mistakes, they need vacation, somebody else needs to take over, they need to learn the specific task, they make mistakes. And again, there's a lot of issues here with using manual labor that can be overcome with using automation. Fast return on investment. Fast return on investment is always an issue. It's always somebody something manufacturers ask about when you come and talk to them about automation. In this case, 60% of companies are looking at fast return on investment. But in my point of view, this will become less important, at least slightly less important after COVID-19, because you are forced to look at automation if you're not doing it already. There is really no choice for you if you wanna become competitive, if you wanna future-proof your business. The other areas are improvement of production processes, reduction of work accidents. Of course, that's very important as well. There's lots of manual labor tasks now that are, heavy lifting or wrong movement of your bodies and so on, which is not healthy for people. And there's a lot of work accidents that you can overcome by using automation rather than doing manual labor. And the last one is the introduction of new innovations. But as I say, post COVID-19, the key thing that manufacturers or industries in general look at is how can I future-proof my business? How can I avoid being in a similar situation when the next COVID-19 similar situation will pop up, because it will. So here's a few things, just returning to the ROI question, which also Daryl mentioned a little bit about how to look at efficiency and so on. But here's a few things that you might not be looking at when you look at your ROI, but you have to look at really. So one thing is you might be doing 8 to 5. If you do automation, you can basically do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. For sure, you will improve your quality. You will have faster delivery to end user. You will be able to have a higher customization, which is also becoming more and more important in industries today. That will improve your customer satisfaction, which will improve your sales. So of course, that is one of the things that will improve your faster return on investment, but you might not be able to calculate it, but you still have to look into this as a part of your ROI when you look at it. Our tools, for instance, from Robot, we can help you with giving feedback, for instance, for quality control. One thing you will improve also is reduction in waste when you automate. It's maybe hard to calculate. You can estimate at best, but it's there and it's important. You can increase your production flexibility. As you know, 99% of businesses in Singapore are SMEs, typically high mix, low volume. So what happens if you invest, say, 100,000 Singapore dollar in a robot and a tailor-made gripper, and then 6 months from now, you lose the order. You're standing there, you have a tailor-made gripper, but it only fits that particular product you built. Now, what we offer, for instance, is grippers that are flexible. So you can use one gripper for multiple type of products, multiple weight, multiple shape, multiple material. It doesn't really matter. So there's a lot of benefits to using collaborative grippers, for instance. What about employee welfare and satisfaction? Higher motivation for workers. It will improve your business. Increase safety for your workers, less accidents, avoiding illness, or again, it will something that will cost less and it will motivate your workers. So one of the things that is often talked about in robotics and when you talk about automation is a lot of companies are afraid they're going to lay off workers. Maybe but the way I see it is that a lot of skills that you're using people for today, you can actually upgrade and use employees for other value-added tasks rather than simple tasks, so to speak, that they're doing now. The other thing is that, as I mentioned up here, improved sales if you automate. So sometimes it's 1 step back and 2 steps ahead. So what you do is maybe you have to let go of a few workers initially when you automate, but because you automate, you'll become more competitive. You become more competitive, you'll have more sales. You have more sales, you increase your business. And again, you need more staff. So as I said, 1 step back, 2 steps forward. That's how I look at it. So all these things is part of the ROI calculation when you look at it. And again, becoming future-proof is a must. Your competitors, whether they are in Singapore or they're in Malaysia or Vietnam, Indonesia, and around the neighborhood, they're all looking into future-proofing. They're all looking into automation, going into Industry 4.0, 5.0, and avoiding future COVID-19 scenarios. Just a quick look at our products. So currently we have grippers, a big range of grippers. They're all collaborative. We have sensing technologies, force-torque sensors, vision systems. We have quick changers. In the coming weeks, we'll be launching processing tools as well. So by the end of this year, we're looking at having somewhere between 30 to 40 plus different products. What is this one system solution? I'll just play a quick video here. I hope that it shows with it plays with sound as well. Okay, so one system, zero complexity. So basically what we're talking about here is that with our current system, you can basically take any of our end effectors and install it on any robot and use the same software. So basically you become robot independent in a sense. So you can choose a gripper, for instance, you choose what we call a robot kit, and you choose a kind of quick changer. So these three things together with one of our compute box, you can connect directly to a robot controller. So UI is a little bit different because we have what we call UR caps, which is our own developed software for UR. But in other robots, you can use what we call WebLogic, and I will give a brief introduction to that a little bit later. So you can you can connect our end effectors with either digital I/O with Ethernet IP or Modbus TCP. You can also use dual configuration, so you can use two of the same grippers. So you can mix and match different grippers if you want. You can have, for instance, here like a servo gripper and a vacuum gripper combined in one solution. So it's really, really simple and very fast to install. So what we have is via our compute box, which is this device here, we have a web client which basically you can connect to your laptop or your PC. And you can go in and check the setup, and you can go in and check if you connect one of our grippers, for instance, you can go in and check what device is there, what's the configuration. You can go in and program it via this with this graphical user interface. You can do path recording, and you can do update. Let me skip these. This is our WebLogic. So basically, part of the WebLogic is, as I said, if you connect with digital I/O. You can go in and program any of our end effectors, and you can use this for any robot brand in the market. It doesn't matter what robot it is. So if you have, for instance, 3 or 4 different robot brands in your factory, you can change our end effectors between the different robots and use the same software and use the same mechanical integration. So it's really, really simple and very, very fast. So this is what we call our one on-robot system. You choose what robot you want to use. You choose what tool you want to use, what quick changer, the single or the dual quick changer. You combine this, and you have different versions and different opportunities for using machine sending, surface finishing, assembly, pick and place, etc., etc. So basically, we give you one solution from one provider, and we help you increase your bottom line. By helping to save cost in terms of integration and deployment, and also increase your productivity. So it's very easy to deploy, but also very easy to redeploy, as I mentioned earlier. So I'm not going to spend much time on this. You'll get this presentation afterwards. But basically, this is a quick showcase of what gripper to use for what application and what size of and type of product. So finding the right gripper. finding the right sensing tool, whether it's force torque sensors, whether it's vision system, or whether it's grippers with force torque sensors. So this is just a quick overview of finding the right end effector. Let me see, half a minute left. I'll go a bit fast here. So using the right robot accessory will really help you revolutionize your automation. So very flexible and easy to deploy all our tools and different robots. It doesn't matter what it is. You can increase your production because you can basically run 24 hours a day, and it's much more reliable than human workers. And you can also help lower your automation costs because you don't need safety fencing. Sorry. You don't need safety fencing. The programming is very easy, and the installation cost is typically very, very low. So we make automation very accessible by this one system solution we have. We help you future-proof your employment, your production, because we make it very easy. We make it very simple. We can basically teach any production worker how to program our end effectors. It is that easy, especially if you put it on a UR, for instance, and a UR cobot. It is super easy with our combined software. So in summary, what we do is we offer you a one system solution which enables either system integrator, if that's what you do, manufacturers, or if you're in the service industry, to achieve automation solutions very, very quickly, very efficiently, at a low cost, and with a very, very high flexibility. So you can use the same end effector for different applications from day to day, depending on what you need to do. So in that sense, we help you future-proof your business today and lessens the risk you have for tomorrow or for coming COVID-19 scenario. So that's it for me. Just about 20 minutes. I hope that was okay.
Yes, just nice. Okay, once again, thank you, Niels, for your thorough introductions. That was a really interesting update to know about smart robotic grippers that OnRobot can provide. Okay, next, I'd like to invite Alan from Realtime Robotics, a new technology, powerful processor, and software that allows robot to react in real time to become a collaborative robot by avoiding collisions. Alan, you ready? Hi, Alan. Once you're ready, you may share your screen.
Good afternoon, people from Asia, and maybe good morning, people from Europe. I'm not talking about America because I believe they're all sleeping. They should be. Yeah. First of all, Max, can you hear me well? Just to
yes, I am.
Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes, everything is good.
So everything's good. So I will continue. And please, Max, help me, stop me if you see any abnormality. If you can't hear me, if something, okay, just stop me. No problem with that. Okay.
Okay.
So hello, everybody. My name is Alan Lee. I'm the person from Realtime Robotic, a company based in Boston, USA. I manage the Asia Pacific business. And I'm here to introduce our company and our technology. Very friendly communication. Anybody have any problem, any area that I'm not elaborating too well, please again get Max to stop me. I'm fine. I can't read the text because I can't do too many things at the same time. So please, Max, help me. Now. Now I have a problem because, okay, Max, can you see it moving?
Nope.
No. Oh, so I mean, am I on slide 2 now on your screen?
Yes, you're on slide 2 now.
Okay, thank you. So the company is based in Boston, as I said, in the States. It was formed 4 years ago. And then we are start to launch our product recently. We launched the beta version about a year ago, and now we are launching it officially. So the company Realtime Robotics is interested in 2 focus. One is the robotic sector. The other is the autonomous vehicles. That will be, let's say, in the pipeline on the right-hand side, the autonomous vehicles. So today, I'll spend more time on the robotic side. We have a lot of partners and customers during this beta version. We are good friends with a lot of the robot manufacturers. I saw some friends' names here, whether they are industrial robot or the collaborative robot sectors. We work with different categories, focusing primarily in the automotive and also electronics, but also other general sectors as well. So just to illustrate what we are talking about, well, actually, sorry, this should be the slide next. I'll come back to here. So let me explain about the technology. We, Real-Time Robotic, offered 3 types of aspects in the robotic business. First is the rapid plan on the left-hand side. It is available now. It is very easy to install and it's very effective. And to enhance the rapid plan solution, we added a secondary feature called Rapid Sense, which is more or less like sensor. And then the third on the right-hand side, we make virtually the whole work cell fully collaborative, whether you are using industrial robot or with the combination of industrial robot and collaborative robots. So you will see what is the difference. The difference here, the fundamental difference is I have been working with collaborative robots many years. I've been working with firms in Boston for over a decade. So one thing I learned, correctly, friends in the industry, is there are still certain limitations how we deploy collaborative robots in action. For example, there's still limitation about the payload. There's still limitation about the weight of the object, which is the payload. And of course, the most important is about the speed, because the payload plus the speed is the fundamental concern how we make the work cell safe. Here, we introduce a friendly supplement to what people are doing in the industrial and the collaborative sector by adding a supplemental solution that we are offering. So I use this example. Let me see whether this video will probably give you a good illustration what we are talking about. When 2 robots are moving at their own predefined roadmap, the robot will have a concern whether robot A is working collaboratively with robot B, and whether the changes in the environment will provide the safety concern that all workspace is designed for. So how it works, we have a controller supplementing both the in-between of the PLC and the robot. Okay. And you can see on the left-hand side, when the origin, the source of the material, the orientation is frequently changing, and also on the left-hand side, the smaller black tray, the destination is constantly irregular or moving. Our solution will supplement both the industrial robot and the collaborative robot carefully and promptly in place. And on the right-hand side, it is not about the design of the process, about the path. It is more about the changes in the work cell orientation. Then you can see when a robot is programmed, when our friend the blue robot is programmed from the blue tray to the black tray, and if there is a sudden addition of an obstacle in between, either you need to reprogram or there is an idle time. But here with our solution, we are supplementing timeless gap to change the environment. I skip this. So here we have the robot, and then we have different sensors to make the rapid plan and then the rapid sense together functionally. So let's discuss about the core technology on the controller. When the robot is moving from pickup A to destination B, usually there is a predefined path. Here we use a swept motion so that you can see on the right-hand side, we literally calculating all, instead of one single path, we are designing a swept motion of all the possible options within the limitation, within the work cell limitation. So once a predefined path from A to B is experiencing some sort of obstacle or some sort of abnormality, then the controller will automatically create a plan B for that path. It is what we call motion planning. And you can see this is the general, but you can see this is predefined. The red arrows are predefined. But what we're offering is the whole mesh of this, let's say, this area on the left-hand side. I skip this for the time being. This is what we're talking about. The yellow box is our area, and then we are giving out all the possible arrangement within that yellow box into this is the outcome. Let me illustrate. Oh, by the way, this is to illustrate we work perfectly well with both the PLC and the robot, and we can work effectively. At the moment, one controller can manage 4 robots at the same time, simultaneously. This is what we are talking about. The swept volume. Instead of one linear motion, we are calculating from the left to the right in this fashion, in this gray space fashion. So here, the yellow robot should have the defined priority, whereas the blue robot will be, let's say, working collaboratively with the yellow robot. But you can see there are certain areas where the blue robot will idle itself, kind of giving way for the yellow robot when it is programmed. I'm sorry, gentlemen, this video is certainly idle. It worked perfectly a few minutes ago. So this person holding the arm is not a predefined program. It is actually an ad hoc self-create obstacle so that you can see the 2 gray color robots can be effectively detecting any sudden changes in the environment and work on, let's say, the plan B or plan C or even plan D, whatever, routing that it can continue the process. Here is another demonstration with a sudden insertion of a human arm. The robot can still maneuver, absolute collision free. And bear in mind, when I said quite early ago, this will create a very good platform, removing the concern about both the robot speed and the payload, the limitation we are facing today. So this is going back to what we are. This is the controller box that fit in between of the PLC and the robot. It is very space friendly. It can be incorporated, installed, and functionally in a very timely fashion, which I should go back to. Hold on a minute. I should go back to here. So we have given a few trials in various industries, and you can see the OLP time reduced dramatically from 13 weeks on the baseline, what the existing work cell is doing, compared to our performance of 1 week. And there are work cell efficiency increased from 75% to 95%. It's not about the robot. It's more about the way it's programmed so that there are idle time, there are giveaway time in between of multi-robots. So we work effectively with one robot facing abnormality in the design of the work cell, but we work perfectly with multi-robot. At the moment, our limitation is 4 robots in the same work cell, 1 controller to handle 4 robots. So this is real-time robotics. I believe TDS are giving you some YouTube links so you can easily see our technology, see our case studies through the YouTube channel. If there's anything that you have questions, please do not hesitate to send me emails or maybe contact to TDS. They can get hold of me easily. Thank you very much, gentlemen, ladies.
Thank you, Alan. It was an amazing to know about real-time robotics technology. Okay, it's finally time for Q&A. If anyone has any questions, please type in the chat room, and I'm sure the speakers will be pleased to answer them. Okay, let's see. Okay, audience, you have any questions for our speakers? Let's wait a while. I think someone is typing. Okay. Okay, I think there's no questions from the audience. Okay. Okay, it's okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. We have come to an end of our webinar. Thank you very much. 1 minute. Hi, Joe. Are you still around?
Yes. Hello,
Hi,
Max.
Joe. You want to try? Hi,
You
Joe.
want to try? Okay.
Yes. I think just now you have some technical errors.
Okay.
So Joe from Zimmer will be introducing about his products from Germany. Hope this time it works.
Okay. You can see the screen?
Yes, great. Now we can.
Okay, great. Hi, I'm Joe from Zimmer Group. Zimmer Group is a German company. We do a lot of parts for automation, and I'm stationed in Singapore taking care of Southeast Asia and Oceania. This is the first slide. Our product range is quite wide. We divide it in handling technology like gripper, tool changer, robot accessories, something like this. We also offer damping and linear technology. like shock absorber and linear clamps for THK, Hyvin, IKO, Bosch rails, something like this. Beside this, many people don't know we have machine technology like spindles and zero clamps for CNC machining, for example. And beside components, we offer complete system solutions, means complete end-of-arm solutions up to the requirements of the customer. Next time when I talk longer, I will talk a little bit more about tool changer, maybe also important in these times now. We have tool changer up to 1 ton, and we will talk a little bit. I will talk a little bit where to use tool changer, why to use tool changer, what to consider if you use tool changer, which signals you can transfer on tool changers, what we have specially for Universal Robot here, and also about special applications with tool changers for spindles, for example. Beside this, we will have a look inside our electric grippers. Here maybe more focused on UR, where we have the wide range up to also cover UR16, like you see on the video, hopefully. We have special software solutions for UR, but also in general. And maybe some videos about customized solutions for bigger parts with servo gripper I will show. Okay, that's from my side, Max.
Finally, it works. Thank you, Joe. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to an end of our webinar. Thank you very much for your participants, and I'd like to thank all speakers for the presentation as well. I hope you enjoyed the program. If anyone has any questions or any inquiries, do email us and we will approach you individually. Okay? If not, thank you very much. Stay safe at home, and I hope to see you in person next week. Thank you.